that's where I need your help. I've watched you over the past a few weeks do this thing that you're doing with your diet, and you're becoming leaner. But you're skinny already. I mean, haven't you always been skinny?
I haven't always been skinny, and I'm glad you asked that, because I think people can look at me now and be like, you're a jerk. Why are you telling me about weight loss? I'm like, well, because a decade ago when I weighed 70 pounds more of fat than I weigh now, and I probably had 10 pounds less muscle, and I'm not a big muscle-bound person, that meant I had 80 extra pounds of fat on me. So, you just put me on top of a hill and knock me over, and I'll roll down it. That's what it felt like. I can remember sitting on the couch. Oh my gosh. It's difficult to think about this because it's so different from my life now, but I had resigned myself to this. I remember sitting on the couch, and I love barbecue potato chips. I still love them, but I don't eat them all the time because there's not much actual nutrition in those. And I remember that you've probably seen the commercials or experienced this yourself. You tip the bag back because you've gotten the last of it out, and you're getting the last of it, and then apparently there was a little bit extra, and it's like more than I thought, and it just spilled all over me. And so I'm like picking it off my shirt, eating it, like, this is gross. Like, I probably should have thrown that shirt away. And then I ate the last of it, and I thought, oh, I'm still hungry. I want to go eat something else. And keep in mind, this wasn't the last of a bag I'd eaten. This was the whole bag that I'd eaten in my sitting. Probably more than 2,000 calories in one sitting, and that wasn't the only thing I'd eaten. And I'm just sitting there watching MMA on TV at the time. And I remember trying to roll off the couch and not having the energy to roll off the couch.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I'm like, at that point in my life, I'm like, I'm so overweight and so out of shape, I can't even get off the couch to get more food. And at that point in my life, I was just living defeated. I didn't think there was anything different I could do. I literally thought, okay, well, now I'm an adult and my metabolism changed, and so I just don't have a choice about this. That's just the way things are, and this is what happens when you go over. Until I made a course correction, and I started working with a medical weight loss program, like I mentioned earlier, and I decided, well, I'm gonna be a guinea pig for this and see if it's gonna work, and it worked. And that was a major course change for my life. But remembering the days when I couldn't do everything I could imagine doing and that I used to be able to do when I was a kid just frustrated me so much that I just decided I'm never going back. And so that's really just part of my experience and the frustration that I dealt with. And I can remember what it was like, when you're expressing, like, you're just climbing a ladder. That shouldn't be hard, right?
Mm-mm. Not the short ones. What can you do now that you couldn't do at 70 pounds heavier?
Oh, well, let's start with the basic stuff. I can bend down and tie my shoes without being out of breath.
Okay.
Because I remember having to kind of roll to the side to do that, to tie my shoes.
All right, yeah.
So that's a really basic thing, but some of you might be able to identify with that. Since then, and since I got down to kind of in my target weight range where I want to be, from the time that I started and I lost that last 30 pounds or so, I got to where I could run a mile a minute faster than before. Shaving whole minutes off of miles when you're running and you're trying to be a runner, that's a significant thing. And that was a big revelation for me, because I remember I had lost this weight and I looked in the mirror and I thought, I look kind of fit, but I know that I get out of breath to walk upstairs still because I'm not actually fit. And so that was something that drove me to get into the gym and actually start to do something, just so that I would have the ability to, if I want to go climb up a small mountain or go for a run or do whatever, I'm able to do that.
Did you start out, though, with exercise being the main way to lose weight, though?
No. You go ask most personal trainers, if they're being honest with you, will tell you that you don't lose weight primarily by exercise. It may be 20% of what you're doing. What you take into your body, the number of calories and mostly the type of calories, is what makes the difference. And that was what made the difference for me.
Let me add something back to my story that happened this year that's causing me to kind of really look at this. I went to Arizona, and it's like 5,000 elevation in Winslow, and I couldn't breathe. Breathing is important. Don't you think?
Yeah. And you were just standing on a corner in Winslow or something, right?
Yeah.
That's a real town. That's what you're
We
saying.
did go to Winslow, yes. And we went to Red Sands, and it was hard. But the thing that got me was on the way back, my feet swelled in the 22-hour van ride. My feet swelled big, and that scared me. That honestly scared me to the point where I know a lot of people who have not made it through their 50s. So that's a huge reason why I want to ask for your help.
Well, let me ask you this. When you were in Arizona, why were you there?
Mission trip.
So you're on a mission trip. Were you working with some youth and working with kids at the church where you're...
Some youth, some adults, some homeless people, yeah.
So while you're there, did that limit your ability to serve?
Yes. It did. A lot of the team painted the church, and there was just no way that I could have climbed up on top of the ladders and painted up there. 233 pounds. I might not look 233. I might not look 49. But I am.
I didn't know she was 49. I thought you were like 43.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's true.
He said it on film.
Yeah.
But it is.
Wait, you said there was no actually film in these things.
No, there's not really film.
She's teaching me. I don't know anything about this. I just push buttons and it doesn't break usually.
Yeah, usually. So I guess the next step is putting up the weight. Boop, boop, and spending the next 30 days on this journey. And
so this is something I think is really important. I think it's very important that you have somebody who can go along beside you when you're on a journey like this. So if you're thinking about doing something like this in the future, and we'll show you more about how this works as we go along, you're going to want to try and find somebody who can help you, like be there with you along the journey, and then somebody that can coach you. And that's something that we have a lot of experience with, that my team that I worked with has a lot of experience with. So I'm actually going to be going along with you on this journey as well. So we're going to be following the same basic program. So that way you can call me. I told her right before we walked in here, she was talking about this medicine that makes her gain weight. My medicine that makes me gain weight is called pizza and ice cream. And I don't know if there's any medicinal value to it or not, but it's delicious. And that's what I told you when I walked in. I was like, I really want some ice cream. Because that's a real thing. Like every once in a while, you just want to have some ice cream.
Yeah,
so
we're going shopping, and that's what you're going to get.
Possibly.
Because we have something. We have a surprise for our next video.
Right, and when we do that, like that's because we're about to start the program, and we might have a little bit before we get started. That's what I'm planning on doing anyway. This is really exciting because on the next episode, we're going to be looking at what Carmen and I would eat if calories weren't a thing and if unhealthy foods weren't a thing. And we're going to go through the pantry and look and see, what are you eating on a regular basis? And when we do that, we're going to say, okay, this is good. This is, it says food at the end of junk food, but that's just like a title to let us know that our body might be able to digest this, but it's really not much food there. And so this is going to have to go for now.
It's not going to be easy. I've got to be honest.
It's okay. That's why I'm here, because I'm gonna be there, and it'll be like one of those shows on TV. They're like, sorry, this doesn't stay in your closet anymore. You don't. When's the last time you wore this?
Yeah.
5 years ago, but I might want to wear it again soon.
All right.
So this is gonna be kind of like that. Only if I said that to you, you'd be like, when's the last time I ate this? 5 minutes ago. Right. Now that you've gotten to know us a little bit and you're maybe starting this journey and you found us on YouTube or Facebook or something, we want to hear your feedback and just let us know, what's your experience been? Is this a struggle that you identify with? Have you been like Carmen, where you've never really had to go on a diet before and you've never tried to lose weight before, and then it just snuck up on you and you're like, oh no, I've got to do something? Or are you like me or a lot of other people that tried all kinds of stuff and it didn't work? So just tell us about your experience, and we would love to hear from you. And if you got any questions, we're going to be, just stay tuned, and we're going to be teaching you about how the program works in the days and weeks ahead.
So subscribe, like, and share. Let people know what's going on, because I'm going to need as much accountability as possible.